the ground absolutely perfect. It's meant a slight change to the course. Let's take a look at where our first race would normally be started, in the central starting chute. Then going to move now to the outer round course. So we're not using that chute for this particular meeting, and instead we're going to be starting in the back straight. It would normally mean, therefore, that the first fence is an open ditch. They will not jump that open ditch on the first circuit. They will go around that, hence there's the white fence in front of the obstacle itself. So they'll weave around that on the outside, then cut back in to the racecourse proper, and then in the end they'll be taking 14 fences. Quite a long run indeed to the first of those obstacles. So this is the William Hill each way extra novices limited handicap chase. 14 of them already arriving at the start, headed here by Crest of Fortune, who's the mount of Sam Tristan Davis, and one of 7 chasing debutants here. Also jumping fences the first time. Number 2, Double Powerful, went to the post early with Connor O'Farrell. 3, Inox Allen and Derek Fox. 4 is Right So Tom, Brendan Powell. 5, West Away, Danny Gilligan. 6 is True Testimony, one of 2 mares in the field with Connor Stone Walsh riding. Number 7, Zurich, a winner at Killarney last time, Darren Keefe. 8 is Cadeur Sans Frais and Jonathan Burt. Number 9, Blenkinsop, Kieran Gethins. Number 10, Darcy's Friend with Donna Myler. Number 11 is Newton Tornado, win over hurdles at Fosslas last time with Ben Jones. 12, Major Fortune, Harry Skelton. 13, Springs a Girl, Sean Bowen. And number 14, Scorsese, betting for a hat-trick, and Richard McLennan is in the saddle. This has been a very busy market. Loads of horses have been back this morning in this race, including the favourite, Newton Tornado, at 3-1, in now from 4s in the last few moments. There's also a significant late move coming for Cadeur Sans Frais. 4s in from 11-2, much bigger when betting started earlier on. 13-2, and on the drift, Springs a Girl. 17-2, Crest of Fortune. 9-1, Bardos.
Okay, really interesting betting heat this opener, because there's been really good support, Fitzy, for Newton Tornado, 100 to 30 favourite currently.
Yeah, but you can see why. This horse looks like a strong stayer. But the problem that you have is, if you watch any of this horse's hurdle races, the technique over the obstacles was poor. And that would be a concern for me. This is not an easy track to jump round first time. And that's just, it is just backing a horse at a short price, first run over fences, when it jumped like it did over hurdles, is a worry.
We know it's 2 different disciplines, of course, hurdles over to fences, but especially when I first started riding, maybe it's not so much the case now, but people were always very conscious of running a horse first time out over fences around Cheltenham. A lot of people always felt that that was an issue.
Yeah.
Newton Tornado, one of the horses that has been well back. There was support earlier for Springs a Girl. That just seems to have dried up a bit.
I thought that was quite a good run at Worcester, didn't you, Skew? I thought it finished the race off really well, almost when the race was over a little. But
yeah, absolutely. And again, I do think that the advantage are going to be for those that have that little bit of experience over fences. You know, I like Zurich for Henry de Bromhead, come over from Ireland, been doing most of its running over 2 miles, had one go over 3 miles, but the intermediate trip I think will suit better. But I do think that there is a big advantage for those horses, especially at this grade with these types in a big field, reasonably big field handicap, that those are the experience I expect to see at the 4.
The late money is coming for Cadeur Sans Frais, who's being very heavily supported in the last few minutes before the off.
Has some good pieces of form, but you know, kind of went travelling a little bit to try and win races, went up to Catterick to get off the mark. Did win a bumper at Ascot, I suppose, so you're looking at, it has shown decent signs, been a nice horse and it won that bumper as well. But yeah, Anthony Honeyball's doubly handed in here, and the top horse in here, Crest of Fortune, definitely looks like it might improve for the run, but is a nice horse too.
A half-brother to one of the favourites later on the card as well, being out of Ravello Bay. Sam Twiston Davies on that horse. Still plenty of time to get your ITV7 entries in the first race, and that is in around about 20 minutes time, so do make your selections in that. £50,000 could be heading your way on a busy afternoon for us here on ITV. Good luck with all your bets. Here's Mark Johnson for the call in the opener.
And they're coming in nice and steadily, and they're off with 2.5 miles ahead of them. It's the William Hill each way extra novices limited handicap chase. So they go around the outside of the open ditch this first time around, and now cut in to join the racecourse proper and on towards the first of the 14 fences. The early leader is West Away. West Away leads them at the first, jumps it well, as do all the leaders. The one who made a mistake at the back was Major Fortune, jumping last but one. He took that fence by the roots. At the moment, Double Powerful is the back marker. Now they go around the first turn, on now towards their first open ditch. West Away leads Darcy's Friend in second as they go over the open ditch, at which they were all safe. Quite wide is Newton Tornado, racing in a share of third as now they go into the downhill turn. True Testimony is up against the inside rail, being followed by Zurich as they go around that turn. They're then being followed by Inox Allen, who races a little bit wider to some. Then towards the inside, Scorsese. After Scorsese is Crest of Fortune. Crest of Fortune followed by Springs a Girl towards the wide outside. Still Double Powerful is the back marker. Blenkinsop now just loses a little bit of ground, dropping into the last three as they go over the downhill fence. They're all safely over that. A slight mistake by Double Powerful in 14th and last position. So now quite a long run before they encounter the first of two fences in the home straight. And still the leader is Danny Gilligan aboard West Away. West Away out in front to Newton Tornado on the outside, racing in second. Against the rail, Darcy's Friend, followed by Zurich on the inside of True Testimony as they make the turn in. Then Cadeur Sans Frais, the blue and white hard colours with the red and white checkered cap, racing on the outside of Crest of Fortune. Then Scorsese up against the inside. Next is Right So Tom. Right So Tom, followed by Blenkinsop and Inox Allen, who's lost one or two places as they stream over the fence, which were the last in a circuit's time, at which Springs a Girl made a mistake. They've got a good swinging gallop here, guys, and 7 of them making their chasing debuts, but at the moment, touch wood, the jumping's been pretty sound.
Yeah, it has. This fence, which they take on the way up the hill here, will be interesting. The horse that I was worried about jumping, Newton Tornado, he's making a mockery of me, Skew.
He is so far, it's a completely different discipline over fences, but so far, without pushing to put the mockers on him, he's taken to it extremely well. There's still a long way to go, and they've got them well stretched out.
Yes, and they really did get strung out as they went up the hill past the best mate enclosure, and they're really beginning to trap along now, the leaders, as they stream out over the first fence taken down the back straight. And it is West Away now on the inside. Out quite wide is Newton Tornado, still the first two as they go over the water jump. Darcy's Friend was over in third, and then True Testimony was over in fourth. Zurich is in fifth. Then there's quite a break opening up to Crest of Fortune, and now they go towards the open ditch, which they missed out the first time around, but they stream over it this time. Scorsese, one of those trying to make a bit of ground through on the inside, as now they go on towards the end of the back straight. Springs a Girl, who's made mistakes, has been pulled up in the back straight by Sean Bowen. So over that plain fence, just 4 more obstacles to take. The next will be an open ditch, and West Away has the lead to the outside. Newton Tornado in second. Darcy's Friend is in third, and then True Testimony is in fourth. Zurich is travelling really well on the heels of the leaders, and down there is Newton Tornado. Newton Tornado has gone very badly hampered, was Cadeur Sans Frais, who was almost stopped in his tracks. So now they make the turn at the top of the hill, and it is West Away who still leads. On the outside, True Testimony. On the inside, the blue and white of Darcy's Friend, and Zurich still catches the eye. The beige with the purple sleeves, travelling powerfully for Dara O'Keefe. Towards the outside, Crest of Fortune is making ground. So too, Right So Tom is getting involved. Then Scorsese from a long way back. Double Powerful now tries to stay on as they go over the third from home. Another one making ground towards the wide outside is Major Fortune. Down at the back of the field, Cadeur Sans Frais has fallen at the third from home. So now in a driving rainstorm, they come down the hill and on towards the final 3 furlongs. They now have 2 plain fences to take. It is Zurich around the outside who comes now to challenge on the inner. True Testimony. Those are now the first 2. Darcy's Friend, Double Powerful, the yellow on the outside. Wider still, Major Fortune is also picking up. So too is Crest of Fortune. Down now towards the final fence, and over it, Zurich was big and bold, slightly over pitching. Double Powerful took it in second. Crest of Fortune is in third. Another half furlong to go. Zurich is all out, but he's game. He's sticking his neck out and racing up towards the line. It is Zurich who wins. Crest of Fortune up for second. Double Powerful in third. Followed home then on the inside by Blenkinsop, and towards the outside was Major Fortune. Well, he has always caught the eye throughout this 10-1 winner, Zurich, and in the end, he's won with a little bit in hand, with his ears pricked, and he's won here for Henry de Bromhead and for Dara O'Keefe, a first Irish-trained winner of this meeting. It was Crest of Fortune who got the head bob for second, and he's won here, Zurich, by about 3 or 4 lengths. 10-1, the winner of our first.
And tipped up by Tom Scudamore. He's won that pretty decisively, I think, in the end, although there were some closers making you and backers of Zurich sweat, Scu.
Yeah, there were some very happy connections just behind us. If there was any doubt, I think they've lifted him home. But Dara O'Keefe, we talked about Sean Bowen earlier yesterday and today on the morning show. Dara O'Keefe is having a similar season in Ireland. He's got the first jockey with Henry de Bromhead this year, and he's certainly making plenty of hay while the sun shines. He's having a fantastic start to the season.
Let's hear from him with Alice.
Well, we always note when Henry de Bromhead brings some over, they're usually ready for this meeting. But Dara, that was a peach of a ride. Congratulations.
In fairness, everything worked out. Got a lovely start. Jumped brilliant. Might have missed the first time round, but whole way down the back, it jumped well and was in a good old rhythm. And you know, I was hoping Conor would bring me as far as he was, and you know, because this lad, he had ran over further before on real testing ground in Avon and didn't get home, but you know, would have come on plenty at last day for the run, so no, we were hopeful of a good run.
You got a right good chance of a double with the short go later.
That's it, looking forward to him. You know, he was probably a bit unlucky last year to meet Senior Chief, you know, in the race, so hopefully a reproduction of that run, he should go well.
Yeah. Well done, good luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, alongside me are the connections of the winner, Zurich, Pimlico Racing. And my goodness, they made some noise here. Nathaniel's going to do the speaking. I don't know if everyone able to hear what everyone's going to say, because it was so loud in this paddock.
It was, yeah, no, fantastic. We've got a lot of owners over from Ireland. It's an Irish-based syndicate. Got a horse over here, as you can tell, I'm English versus the Irish contingent.
It's a pretty easy watch, though, wasn't it? He was travelling so well.
It was, and it's, yeah, I mean, he's come back. He had a wind up over the summer. He's come back an improved horse. Won last time out in the steward's room and has obviously come on a lot for it. So fantastic.
So, I'm guessing part of the joy of this is because you've all lumped on today.
No, not even so much. Look, I think you just dream of Cheltenham winners, don't you?
Exactly.
We tried very hard here. We were touched off here in November, the year before last, by a head, and yeah. That was a lot easier to watch.
Now, you've corrected me, thinking it's all about the money. It's about being at Cheltenham.
This is bucket list. This is bucket list.
Bucket list, indeed. Congratulations. How about a little cheer for the winner? Brilliant, well done.
And I think the celebrations that we saw a few moments ago, and indeed in that interview with Richie, will be carrying on, Mick, long into the night after that win.
This is what the game is all about. The last time they were kind of robbed of that, because this horse had to get the race in the steward's room, finished second, but actually got the race in the steward's room at Killarney. So now I think this is like a double celebration.
I asked Scu early on in the race, I said, where's Zurich? And he goes, Switzerland. I meant where the horse was, but your eyes were always drawn to him in terms of how he travelled into the race.
Yeah, he was sort of sat 4th or 5th down the inside. Dara O'Keefe took him sort of around a few of them at ones at the top of the hill. It was just a question from the back of the second last whether his stamina would hold. This is a horse that's done primarily his running over 2 miles, has had one go over 3, but they certainly found the intermediate trip to his liking today.
Just a couple of horses to take out of the race as well. Double Powerful was dropped right out. That is the way he's ridden. I think he'll come forward, but the horse Crest of Fortune, he looked like he'd improve a lot physically for the run, so he's definitely one to take out. And I think Henry Daly will be pleased with Blenkinsop too.
Your question marks about Newton Tornado's jumping was one out. Early on, he looked like he took to it like a duck to water, but he eventually came down.
The problem with a horse like him is when he has to shorten and alter his stride, that's where I thought his technique lacked. And that was the worry coming here to Cheltenham. And the first time he had to shorten, he got found out.
And his full badly hampered Caddock Somfray, who was well back beforehand and put an end to his chance. Let's bring you up to speed with the result then in the first. 10-1 Zurich's return, Crest of Fortune second at 15-2, and third Double Powerful at 14-1. Happy scenes in the winners' enclosure here at Cheltenham, but who will be celebrating at Doncaster later? We will be building up to the Group 1 there and continuing our coverage here at Cheltenham on an action-packed Saturday afternoon on ITV Racing. Great to see the celebrations in the winners' enclosure, and then our attentions will turn to the matchup between